Hello and welcome to this Learning Byte. Our topic is viewing the contributing routes of an aggregate route. My name is Meir Petler and I'm with the Education Services Department at Juniper Networks. Let's get started. After successfully completing this Learning Byte, you will be able to explain how the show route prefix exact detail command allows us to see all the contributing routes of an aggregate route. The route aggregation methodology helps minimize the number of routing tables in an IP network by consolidating selected multiple routes into a single route advertisement. This approach is in contrast to non-aggregation routing, in which every routing table contains a unique entry for each route. The aggregation methodology does not help reduce the size of the routing table on the router that does the aggregation, but it does help for the other routers that this route is going to be advertised to. When you configure an export policy that only advertises the aggregate but not the contributing routes anymore, you then have the aggregation effect on the routers that receive updates. An aggregate route becomes active when it has one or more contributing routes. A contributing route is an active route that is a more specific match for the aggregate destination. For example, for the aggregate destination 172.29.00/22 that we have on this slide, we have a more specific route which is 172.29.00/24. If an aggregate route becomes active, it is installed in the routing table with reject next hop. If a more specific packet does not match a more specific route, the packet is rejected and an ICMP unreachable message is sent to the packet originator. One of the challenges that we have is figuring out which routes are contributing to the aggregate route. Some of those routes are going to be static routes that are declared in our configuration file, but some of those routes might appear there because they were advertised to us as part of a routing update coming from another router via routing protocols. So, in the demonstration, we are going to show the appropriate command to find out which routes are contributing currently to our aggregate. To start our discussion, we logged into one of the routers in our lab, and let's look at the configuration of this router. What we can see is that in this router, we actually have several static routes defined. We can see that we are running the ISIS routing protocol on this router, and we can see an aggregate route declared here, which is 172.20.64.0 with a mask of /18. We know that the mask of /18 will include all the routes up to 127.254. And we can glean here, one line above, that we already can guess that this route, the 212.0, is one of the contributing routes to this aggregate. But we are not really sure what other routes are contributing, and we can find that out. We can't really find out which routes are contributing to the aggregate by doing the simple show route command. We can see all kinds of routes here, and we can definitely see our aggregate, but it doesn't really tell me which routes are contributing to this aggregate. What we can do is we can execute the specific command show route, and for the specific route 172.20.64.0, and we need to add exact and detail. The exact detail options actually provides us with a detailing of all the routes that are contributing to this aggregate. And what we can see is that 66.0, 77.0, 111.0, that are all static routes that are declared above are lumped together underneath this declaration. And we can also see that there is a route that is learned from the ISIS routing protocol that joined these routes. We know that the next hop type is reject, and because we now know exactly what are the contributing routes, so which actual addresses can be served on this aggregate, we can also surmise which addresses are going to be rejected once they get to this aggregate route, because there is no contributing route that is able to support those addresses. To recap, we showed how the show route destination prefix exact detail command allows us to see the contributing routes for an aggregate route. This concludes this learning byte. Thank you for watching.
Visit the Juniper Education Services website to learn more about courses. View our full range of classroom, online, and e-learning courses. Learning paths, industry segment and technology-specific training paths. Juniper Network's certification program, the ultimate demonstration of your competence. And the training community, from forums to social media. Join the discussion.